In this video, we shall look at concepts behind motional EMF. Assume you have a region of magnetic field. The direction of this magnetic field is going into the plane. And you have a rod. This rod is moving across the magnetic field region, say with some speed v. Let's assume the strength of the magnetic field is B. Imagine there is a positive charge inside that rod. What that means is this positive charge is moving to the right with speed v in a region where the magnetic field is going into the plane. If you take the strength of the charge is positive Q, there will be a magnetic force acting on this positive charge according to this equation. Q V cross B. The cross product that dictates this magnetic force says if you curl your right hand fingers from the direction of velocity to the direction of magnetic field, your thumb will be pointing upward like that. The direction of that right hand thumb is the direction of the magnetic force on this charge. So that would force the charge Q to move upward towards the upper edge of that rod. With time, this magnetic force causes the free positive charges in the rod to move, creating an excess positive charge at the upper end of the rod and negative charge at the lower end of the rod. This in turn creates an electric field in that direction, which exerts a downward force of Q times E on the charges. The accumulation of charge at the ends of the rod continues until this E is large enough for the downward electric force to cancel exactly the upward magnetic force. When that happens, we write QE equals QVB. QVB because V is 90 degrees with respect to the magnetic field. At this point, the accumulation of charges are in equilibrium, with the net result of the higher end of the rod is at a higher potential than the lower end of the rod. That means there is a potential difference between these 2 points, and the potential difference equals the electric field that is built up within the rod times the length of the rod. Let's assume the length of the rod is L. From this equation, the Q will get cancelled, and the electric field is quite simply this for speed times the magnetic field. And when we multiply that with the length of the rod, we get the potential difference that is set up along the rod. Now this V is capital V, and this V that we use to denote the speed is the little v. Now let's assume that this rod is sliding on a rail like that. Because the upper end has a higher potential than the lower end, that would induce an electric current in that direction. And within the rod, the direction of the induced EMF is upward. Now you can clearly see that this moving rod has become a source of electromotive force. Within it, charge moves from the lower potential to the higher potential, and in the remainder of the circuit, charge moves from the higher potential to the lower potential. This is what we called the motional electromotive force, whose magnitude is given by that expression. So we write that as V, B, L. Of course, this result has been derived for magnetic field that is uniform. If the magnetic field is, for example, not uniform, then the expression for that motional electromotive force will take the following form. It would appear in a form of an integral. Velocity cross magnetic field dotted with dl, where dl is is the length vector associated with element of a conductor. So coming back to our previous example, if this end is B, that end is A, the direction of the EMF is from B to A, the limits of the integral would be the value of L at point B, that would serve as the lower limit, and the value of L associated with point A, that would serve as the upper limit. We shall see how to use this expression in examples that follow. Let's look at the following problem. The long straight wire in figure below carries a current of 2 ampere, so that is this long wire. A metal bar with length 1 meter is moving at constant velocity 3 meter per second to the right, so that is that metal bar moving rightward. Point A is a distance D, which is 0.4 meter from the wire. That is the upper point. Calculate the EMF induced in the rod and which point, A or B, is at a higher potential. So this metallic bar is moving in a region where there is magnetic field, and the magnetic field is created by this long straight wire carrying current. The direction of the magnetic field is in a form of concentric circle. So on the plane where the metal bar is moving, the direction of the magnetic field will be going into the plane, like that. So if you concentrate on one positive charge, Q, within that metallic bar, it is moving rightward with a velocity v, and it is moving in a region where there is magnetic field going into the plane with a magnitude b. The right-hand rule tells you the magnetic force on this charge Q is going upward, because the force is given by this expression. So from our discussion a few minutes ago, we know that positive charges would accumulate at the end A and negative charges would accumulate at the end B. That would make point A to be at higher potential. We have seen that the direction of the induced EMF will be going like that. We want to calculate what that EMF is. So we can start with the equation that we wrote down a few minutes ago, the integral of V cross B dot dl. The lower limit is the value of L associated with point B, and the upper limit is the value of L associated with point A. We know that V and B, which is going into the plane, as represented by these crosses, are 90 degrees with respect to each other. dl represents the length element along that metallic bar, and it's going in that direction, following the direction of the induced EMF. That means the above integral can be written in a following manner: V B dl, because V cross B is parallel to vector dl. Now this B is not uniform. It is created by a very long wire. Let's assume that the distance between the long wire to that length element is L. So the magnetic field there is given by mu naught capital I over 2 pi L. So let's substitute this expression in here. Now let's bring out all the constants. V is a constant. Speed is a constant in this case. Mu naught I over 2 pi integral dl over L. Let's settle the limits of the integral. At point B, the value of L is little d plus capital L. Little d plus capital L. At point A, the value of L is just little d. So that means the answer is V mu naught I over 2 pi natural log of d over d plus L. Or you can simply write it as minus V mu naught I over 2 pi natural log of 1 plus L over d. So let's put in the numbers. The speed is 3. We want to calculate the magnitude of the EMF, so let's leave out the negative sign. Mu naught is 4 pi times 10 to the power minus 7. The current is 2 ampere over 2 pi times the natural log of 1 plus d is 0.4 and capital L is 1. So 1 over 0.4. You get an answer of about 1.5 times 10 to the power minus 6 volt. And that solves the problem. Problem 2. A rectangular loop with width A and a slide wire with mass M, that is this slide wire right there, are shown below. A uniform magnetic field B is directed perpendicular to the plane of the loop into the plane of the figure as represented by these crosses. The slide wire is given an initial speed u and then released. Assume that there is no friction between the slide wire and the loop. The resistance of the slide wire is capital R. The loop has negligible resistance in comparison. Find the expression for the magnitude of force F exerted on this wire while it is moving at speed v. As we have discussed below, the current in the external circuit will go like that, and within that moving bar it will go in an upward direction. So this current will interact with the magnetic field that is going into the plane according to this formula to create a magnetic force on that moving bar in that direction, namely in the leftward direction. So that is the force that we want to determine. So this force will slow the metal down, and when the magnitude of the force is F, the speed with which it is moving is v. So from this equation we know the magnitude of the force is I times the length of that moving bar times the strength of the magnetic field, where the electric current is given by the induced EMF E over the resistance of that moving bar. Now we know the induced EMF is given by the strength of the field times the length of that moving bar, which is A, times the speed with which it is moving. And that, when you divide by the resistance of that moving bar, you get the electric current. We should represent L here with A, because L represents the length of that moving bar, in this case is A. Substituting the electric current in this equation, we get B squared A squared V over R. In vector language, since F is opposite to that of V, we can put a negative sign here and write it like that. From Newton's second law, F is m times A. So you see acceleration, which is also moving to the left, can be written as minus B squared A squared over R times m times the velocity. We can write A as d2x dt squared and the velocity as dx dt. Let's rewrite that equation. D dt dx dt plus b squared a squared over rm x equals to 0. That means the quantity inside the bracket is a constant. We can write that as a. When the movement started, x equals to 0 and the speed was u. So that means a equals to u. Like that. When the bar covers a distance of L, its speed goes to 0 and the value of x is L. So this equation will become like that and L can be solved. Solving for L, the distance covered, you get r times m times u over b squared times a squared. That result that we need to show. And that solves the problem. Thank you for watching.